Season 1 of Midnight expansion is now live, which means Mythic Plus, the first raid tier, higher tier delves, and a lot more endgame progression systems are now available. But if you've just hit level 90 or you're coming back to the expansion after launch, it's not always obvious what you should focus on first when you hit the max level, which is now 90. There are quite a few different systems now that all tie into gearing, progression, and long-term character power. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what you should be doing at level 90 during season 1 of Midnight so you can start progressing efficiently and not waste your time doing the wrong things. But before we jump in, quickly hit that subscribe button. We're actually trying to grow this channel. Now let's get into it. The very first thing you really need to be doing before you do anything else is making sure you've completed the campaign. A lot of players end up reaching level 90 by doing dungeon spam, delve spam, or a bunch of other various different strategies. And I'm telling you, once you hit level 90, you need to make sure your campaign is complete. And the reason for that is a load of different things will not work for you until you've completed that campaign. For example, you won't have access to world quests, adventure mode for your ults, the prey hunt system, and then various certain weekly activities. So you really need to make sure you've completed the campaign on at least one of your characters. Now, once you've completed that campaign, the next priority is increasing your item level. Season 1 introduces several different gearing paths, including Mythic Plus, raiding, delves, crafting, and weekly activities. Midnight has actually done something brilliant in World of Warcraft, and that is finally simplifying the gearing system quite a bit. Instead of lots of different random names and currencies here, there, and everywhere, with a really confusing system. Instead, they really simplified it and made it easy to understand. There are Adventurer, Veteran, Champion, Hero, and Myth pieces. And depending on which various item piece you have, like for example, I've got an Adventurer piece right here, I can only upgrade this using Adventurer Dawn Crests. If I want to upgrade a Veteran piece, I'll need Veteran Dawn Crest. If I want to upgrade a Champion piece, I'll need Champion Dawn Crest, Hero Dawn Crest for Hero. I'll need Myth Dawn Crests for mythic gear. And it's that simple for upgrading your gear in World of Warcraft. I will mention that you are going to be gatekept on how much of these you can spend throughout the season, so just be careful what you're choosing to use your higher level crests on. Really make sure that that champion and hero gear, you're only upgrading the pieces you definitely want to wear for a while. You don't want to waste these early and then get capped as a result. Early in season 1, you're going to be working towards veteran and champion gear mostly, and eventually progressing into hero and mythic gear as you get into Mythic Plus and as you get into higher levels of raid. So if you want to upgrade your gear, just come over to Silvermoon City, and this is where you can upgrade your gear. It's super simple and super easy. It now just costs a little bit of gold and then some crests that you can get pretty easily by just completing content in-game. One of the most important things you should be doing every single week is completing your weekly quests. The main ones to look out for are Unity Against the Void, which you can pick up over in Silvermoon City. And the main reason you want to complete these weekly quests is that they can reward Sparks of Radiance, which you're going to need to craft your top-end level gear. Anyone that's taking themselves seriously in Mythic Plus or in raid is going to be crafting themselves some high level gear to go along the shiny gear that they find as well. The good thing about these weekly quests is they are very, very flexible. You only really need to complete one of the various activities per week, and that could be world quest, delves, dungeons, zone events, whatever the actual weekly quest is offering in terms of challenge for you to complete. You will get your Sparks of Radiance from doing these, and it will be well worth the effort of completing them. Another good source of progression are the weekly zone events across the Midnight zones. Once you've completed your campaign, you'll eventually pick up a quest called Midnight World Tour. And this quest will ask you to basically complete various events in each of the Midnight zones. These events take place in areas like Eversong Woods, Zulan, Harindar, and the Voidstorm. And completing these events reward gear, reputation, currencies, and other pretty useful material. I mean, look at this surplus of bag of party favorites. Boom. Let's see what it gives us. Nice bit of adventure piece. Onto the Haranir of Harindar. And to be honest, even if the gear isn't always an upgrade, these events are still worth doing just because of the reputations and the currencies that you get from doing them. So definitely make sure you do them every week. Delves are another major part of the endgame progression system. Delves are basically small dungeons which you can do on your own or you can do with a party. It's totally up to you. Each delve rewards various different currencies, crests, and also gear upgrades. One thing that's really important to do immediately is just try and increase the level of the delves that you're completing and try and unlock tier 8 delves. The reason you want to do this is the higher tier rewards significantly better gear and also contributes towards your weekly vault rewards, and that is what's going to massively elevate your gear upgrades week on week. So the higher tier delves you're doing every week, the better gear you're going to get. The winner chicken dinner. For players who also enjoy solo content, delves are actually one of those just really brilliant things that you should be doing if you want to get gear as a solo player. Now, since it's the start of the expansion, if you have a tank spec, I really do recommend running as a tank spec. It becomes a lot easier to do. If you want to do it as a DPS, it's also pretty easy to do as a DPS. It's even easy to do as a healer, but I often think that towards the start of the expansion, when gear is low, starting as a tank is a really good way of just blasting through all your delves. Delves are one of the best features of World of Warcraft right now. They were in the War Within, and they are also in Midnight. They're just really, really fun, having those extra little talents that you can use whilst you're in a delve. It really just makes it interesting and fun to get involved in doing. Of course, since Season 1 has begun, Mythic Plus is definitely one of the best systems you could be using to get gear really, really fast. I highly recommend jumping in as soon as possible. You will probably have to start pretty low out and then build your way up by just completing various dungeons and slowly but surely adding one to your mythic keystone each time. If you're struggling to get a group, quick tip, use your own keystone, make yourself a group and people will join you. Eventually you'll get more of a experience and then naturally your mythic score will go up and people will invite you as a result of that. Higher keys will reward champion gear and eventually hero gear, which can be upgraded even further. Having a guild called Heroes of Creation, we typically like to get ourselves through heroic and into mythic as soon as possible, so we will all be aiming for that hero gear as fast as possible. Mythic Plus is also really, really important because it fills your weekly vault, and your weekly vault is what's going to determine the amount of gear rewards that you're getting week on week. You want as many options as possible at the highest level possible. That way you have a good variety to choose from when it comes to that Wednesday reset. Even if you only complete a few Mythic Plus per week, it's still worth doing just for those vault rewards alone. And if you're not sure what to choose in terms of a vault reward, I really recommend an add-on called Simulation Craft, and it basically allows you to open the vault and then you basically press the add-on. This is Simulation Craft here, and you just press Control C, you copy it, you press OK, and then you open up Google and you type in WoW Top Gear and you press on Raid Bots Top Gear, and you will just paste in the information and it will come up with your spec, your class, and it will show you all the various gear in your bags. But if you have the vault open, it will also show all the gear in the vault, and that will help you basically decide which is best. So if you want to sim like basically to see what is good and what's bad, you just click all the various different things and you press find top gear, and this will basically figure out of all the gear that you've got, which is the best piece you can possibly choose, and that is the best way that you can quickly assess your vault to see what's worth taking and what's not. I really hope that helped. Took me a few years to learn that information. Sometimes, you know, these tips aren't shared frequently enough, and I really hope it does help you. The main thing about Season 1 is just being active, you know, doing all the various different activities, delves, dungeons, weekly activities. Staying on top of it week on week will definitely set you apart. And hey, there's one more thing. Have fun, you know? That's kind of the most important thing about Season 1. If you enjoy doing Mythic Plus only, do Mythic Plus only. If you enjoy doing delves only, do delves only. If you like doing a mixture, you like a little bit of raiding, a bit like me, then do a mixture of everything. Make it work for you. This is a game at the end of the day, and you're paying to play this game. So why wouldn't you just just try and have a bit of fun with it. Another thing you should really be trying to gradually focus on and work through is the Renown with the Midnight faction. There are 4 main factions in the expansion, each is tied to one of the zones within Midnight. Increasing your Renown with these factions will unlock various rewards that are pretty good in Season 1. Do bear in mind though, they are quickly replaced by like Mythic gear and what have you. So as important as they are to complete to get various rewards such as, you know, recipes and what have you, it's also really good to keep in mind that the best rewards will come from completing the high-end content within World of Warcraft. You can get really nice, you know, cosmetic items, mount, profession recipes, and some gear upgrades from them, but just keep that in mind as well. Working through these reputations will put you one step closer to being able to get some of this ore stuff from these vendors. Renown is one of those long-term progression things that you want to work on. Silvermoon Court will typically be in Eversong Forest. The Singularity will be in the Voidstorm. Harati will be in Harandar. And the Amani tribe will be in Zalaman. If you want some quick tips on just working through your reputation, I highly recommend focusing on just doing all the quests in each particular zone. Just make sure all the side quests are completely done. Then you can worry about killing rares, which will give you pretty good reputation in all honesty, and some pretty nice rewards on top of that. And then additionally, you can go ahead and complete your world quests. I really recommend a great add-on called World Quest Tracker, and it basically just tracks all the various different world quests that you can do in a particular zone. When you click on it, it will show you the 3 world quests without you having to try and find it with your mouse or things like that. It's a lot more convenient to do it like that than anything else. If I click on Voidstorm, you'll see all the ones I got there. If I go Harandar, I'll see all the ones I got here. It's quite useful. New professions are actually extremely important this expansion, especially if you care about long-term progression. One of the most important things that you can be doing week on week and day on day, to be honest, is your profession Patron orders. Right here, these are your Patron orders. You want to be completing these every single week to ensure that you're getting the most bang at your buck for the various artisans, tailors, Moxie, be various different ones for each crafting profession. Then you'll also get a chance to get things like Flicker of Midnight Tailoring Knowledge. You'll have this for every single profession. This is a great way to capture that quick and easy extra talent points, which will definitely either give you higher profit or just better rewards in general that you can craft, and that's really good in general. What we'll do right now is just do a quick Patron order. Oh, I can just do this when I've already got the materials. Brilliant. When I do Patron orders, I like to make sure that I'm wearing my resourcefulness tool, which is enchanted with Amani resourcefulness. This basically gives me a higher chance to save reagents, and oftentimes when you're doing Patron orders, you're using their materials, and when you're using their materials, you can actually use your resourcefulness to gain some of those materials that aren't even in your possession back, and it's a good way to make cheeky extra gold. Why wouldn't you do that, you know? So let's go ahead and just quickly grab everything. So now I've got the crafting queue. I'm going to create the shopping list, and I'm just going to go to the shopping tab and click on the craft sim shopping tab. The add-ons I'm using for this are Auctionator and Craft Sim. They go really well together for this type of crafting that I'm doing right now. It just basically means I grab all the materials I need. It will automatically check to see what I've got and what I've not got, and that in general will help quite a lot. Okie dokie, lovely. Right now, when it comes to doing these Sunfire bolts and Arcanweave bolts, I typically like to switch to my other crafting gear, which is Multicraft, as that will give me a higher gold reward. As you can see, it's 435. If I concentrate, it's 2,700-ish. And if I concentrate with Multicraft, it turns to 3,136. So it's really worth doing. So let's go ahead and get that one done. And I actually can do 2 of those. Quite interesting. So I actually should have done 2. I'll handle another one later. And we'll do that one as well. Easy peasy. Why not? Brilliant. It's just easy gold right there. Now I'm going to put my resourcefulness back on, and we're going to do the Patron orders like so. Brilliant. We've got some reagents saved, some free linen bolts. Why not? We don't have these wrist wraps, and then we'll do the courtly shoulders as well. Fantastic. All are done. Then the rest of the rewards will get sent to us in the mail. Just open up our mailbox right here, and there you go. We got our new talent point. We've got some nice little rewards we can sell on the auction house or use for specialization points. points, I can go ahead and assign those like that. Woo, we did it. I'm on the cusp of being able to make the bright linen bolts at the highest tier, but we're not quite there. Very close though. Oh my gosh, look how close. We must be on like 349 skill level. Professions allow you to make really powerful gear using Spark of Radiance, which can produce some of the highest item level gear available in the early season. You can make a lot of gold with this, but it's also really good just for getting really good gear as well. If you aren't sure on how to craft yourself, you don't need to. You can actually just go ahead and go to the Patron orders, which is where I am right here, and we can just start a crafting order. You just basically open up the crafting order station. It looks a little bit like the auction house. You look for what it is you want. Say I want some leather, and I want a shoulder piece, or let's go for wrist piece. Actually, it's probably the best at wrist. And then I can just choose which one I want. I can go ahead and say, oh, I want this one. It's going to require 2 sparks. So if you get 2 sparks, the eye level will be 246 to 259, and I can track that recipe. So you know, when I go to the auction house, it'll tell me exactly what I need. Then I can tell the crafter what item quality I want. It's pretty easy to do that. And then you'll have to supply pretty much all these materials as well. These are extra materials to basically make it even better, like embellishments. It's really good just to follow through and do all that. And just a really quick shout out to Gaming Hero. We have just done a refresh of Gaming Hero, completely rehauled the whole design of absolutely everything. And we've also added a brand new members guide, which is called Good Boring Profession Gold Strategies. And this is basically just a way to make loads of gold in Midnight through boring gold. A lot of people just forget about this type of gold making, and we like to show it because it is absolutely brilliant. There will be weekly guides going out on here by pro gold makers every single week, and it'll be highly worth your time to check it out. So if you need a little bit of a checklist of things that you need to make sure you do in Midnight, it is finish the campaign, start increasing your item level, complete your weekly quests, run delves and Mythic Plus, and then work on your Renown. Keep up with Patron orders for your professions. That's just a smart thing to do in general. And if you follow these steps, you'll progress very smoothly throughout Season 1 of World of Warcraft Midnight Expansion. I really hope that this video helped you. If it did, please hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. This is Erosium from GamingHero.io, out.